And I would like to ask for a little bit of an interactive moment, if we can. Can you think, please, of a 4th of July memory? Think quickly. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. Just think of a 4th of July memory. Okay. Now, look around you and see if you can find someone that you did not drive here with. Or walk here with. And I would like to give each person 30 seconds. So we're going to take 1 minute to do this. Each person gets 30 seconds to share their memory. So keep it succinct, all right? If you have to resort to someone you know well, go ahead and do that, all right? Okay. 30 seconds starting now. So I was 10 years old in 1976, 200 years, right? And I remember going to the Molalla Buckaroo. Anybody else been to the Molalla Buckaroo? Someone has been. It's my hometown party. And my mother and I both wept while the Buckaroo princesses from all over Oregon and the nation zoomed around the arena with flags back and forth. I mean, it takes us both apart. So there's that. It's on the one hand. 1986, I'm 20 years old at Holden Village. And there is a wild ragtag rainbow 4th of July parade. And then Reverend Dan Erlander stands up to preach, and he sticks his tongue thoroughly into his cheek and preaches about how we should not tolerate intolerant people, which is the perfect Holden Village sermon, if you know the village at all. Greg Jackson, who is a Utah Mormon, BYU PhD, currently teaching at Utah Valley University, kind of talks about those two sides of Independence Day. He says, here we are celebrating 250 years of American independence, and let's be honest, it's a bit awkward. Between episodes of political violence, polling data showing that distrust in media is at its highest in half a century, and distrust in electoral institutions, once held sacrosanct, is skyrocketing. It feels, or trust is dropping. He says, it feels as if we're watching Uncle Sam and Lady Liberty reach the golden anniversary right as their relationship hits full meltdown. I just like that image of Lady Liberty and Uncle Sam at odds. Because that's just really kind of what my background, my past is teaching me. Greg does a super good job of lifting up just how bad we have been at being united across the whole 250. It's not like this is unusual. My husband's recognizing that in 1976, when Mom and I were weeping about the horses, we were just past Nixon. There was an OPEC oil crisis and gas prices were crazy high. So many of the same kind of struggles were happening then as are still happening now. And it's just in my lifetime. It's still in my lifetime. Our country makes a very uneasy peace. We are pretty good at so I want to say three things today. I want to say that peace has a shape. It is like this: up and across, up and down and across. I want to say that peace is contentious, and it always has been. And I want to say that it's costly, but worth it, and also possible. So, the peace of Christ be with you all. Help. I'm not going to Bible geek shalom for you today. Shalom in Hebrew, eirene in Greek, is a very big word, and it does carry a lot of freight. the hopes and dreams of countries and communities. Its shape is this. It has a vertical relationship with God. Each and every human being is created by and loved by the divine, no matter what, all the time. And in this, we recognize our freedom. Martin Luther, our namesake from the 1500s, said that a Christian's freedom is based in the unconditional love of God. We are all princes and princesses in the divine sight. I'll clip them better. That was a copy of the Jackson article. I have 15 of them. If you want to see it, come and get it. Find Nick, but I have more. Our peace and the rights to which we are entitled. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all are created, all men. We know what that meant at the time. It meant, at the time, the people assumed that it was all white, male, able-bodied, straight, cisgendered, that means straight, land-owning or property-owning, including slaves, people were created equal. If you didn't fit those categories, not so much, less equal. And those people then are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our biblical tradition recognizes something different. It recognizes that the children of every nation, tribe, and tongue, of every ability level, of every experience and relationship status, are created by and loved of God. So there's always been this contention between the ideal and the reality. On the vertical axis, every person with whom we lock eyes is beloved of God. I guess that's getting horizontal then, isn't it? It's about the relationships. Brueggemann's very clear that this is a community, a corporate responsibility of each of us. So interdependence. Happy Interdependence Day. It was Jesus' investment in the well-being of all of his siblings, fellow humans, that got him in deep, deep trouble. It was contentious all the way through. We see it. So Brueggemann's teaching is helpful. He recognizes that it's not just America that has the problem, it's also the people of Israel who wrestle with God. Israel means those who wrestle with God and with each other and persevere. And throughout the history of Israel, there has also been wrestling. Brueggemann notes that the term shalom usually is owned by the complacent, wealthy, and powerful. It's those who invest in the status quo, the stories of the good old days of King David, when everything was working well and there was, a pot roast in every kitchen. And at the same time, right alongside, there are a group of people always crying out from the bottom of the heap, begging the rich and powerful for justice, mercy, and righteousness. A couple of weeks ago, we read from Jeremiah, who said, "Even our priests cover the wounds of our people and say we're well, proclaiming peace, peace, when there is no peace." We know it, and we lament with that prophet, I think. As Christian nationalism in America still covers over the wounds of our indigenous neighbors, our black brothers and sisters, women, people of color, non-Christians, queer folk, and anyone who doesn't measure up to white, straight, able-bodied, neurotypical male ideals. Christians who really want to welcome all the neighbors actually do have to spell it out. We have to write it down and put it on the wall, because otherwise it's assumed that we exclude. Peace is always contentious. This is not new. It is costly and it's worth it. Luther tells us that a Christian is free as a prince or a princess, as royalty with God, and also bound in service to our neighbors. And he gets that because he sees everything through what he calls the theology of the cross. If Jesus comes to show us that the least, the last, the lost, and the lonely are the important people for him, if Jesus comes to be least, last, lost, and loneliest ever, then we know that it is there that we look to find the face of God. We look toward the folk on the margins and the people at the bottom of the heap and those who are struggling, and that is where we meet God for sure. Certainly in the trees and the beauty and all of the good things, but not just there, also here, always. And that costs us. What I want to say, though, is that the only way to shalom is through shalom. We can't force peace on others. We can only offer it. We can't press people into love. We can only welcome. So the way that Jesus did it, to put down the stick and allow humanity to nail him to it and come back with forgiveness and forgiveness and forgiveness is all we've got. And it's the only way that's truly free. It's the place where we can stand in the best of our humanity and offer divine love to others. And no matter what it costs, that's priceless. It's the only way to freedom is to freely offer love. The only way to peace is to live peace. The only way to life is to live in the beauty and strength of a giving, sharing, strong spirit. Friends, the peace of Christ, it's shaped like this, and it also looks like tree huggers. Right? This came in on our answering machine this week. Hi, I'm a community member, and I was just driving by your church, and I saw all the hands hugging the trees and no ice and stuff. I just want to say I love seeing that. Thank you so much for putting that out there and being a kind church in our community. All right, I hope you have a great weekend and take care. Bye. That's shalom. Shalom is from a phone call I had this week. Jan is doing very poorly. She's really struggling and it hurts. And her daughter, Amber, was wanting to check in, so I called. And after we finished our conversation, she said, now my wife wants to talk to you for a minute. And so Nikki got on the phone and she said, this church, I just need you to know that this church has restored our faith in some Christians. Not all Christians, she said. Got it. This church has restored our faith in some Christians because you really do what Jesus taught. Every other church we ever went to either said we didn't fit there or they just ignored us. This one didn't. You kept showing up. Thank you for all of you, and especially Laura and Allison, who have been so faithful to Jan. Please, the rest of you, hold her in prayer, because this is so hard. Shalom. That's shalom. Shalom is our friend Enrique's care for the 14-year-old boy whose father was among the 21 brown people picked up in the Shelton laundromat parking lot last Sunday. Shalom is Susan telling me that happened and wanting to pray and help. Shalom is quilt makers, and it's evening peace, prayer, peace, and popsicles. EP3 is a lot easier. Shalom is EP3 at 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. Shalom is gift making at the Nisqually Longhouse tomorrow with Interfaith Works. There are still some seats in the van if you want to come along. Shalom is our congregational retreat where there will be rest and joy and community building. Shalom is the Ole Commons Day Camp, which folk are working on so hard. And it's Terry Potluck Project from a couple weeks ago. Those of you, it gathers people from diverse groups to share meals and questions that explore and build on our common humanity. It's pretty cool. They can teach us how. Shalom looks like this. It looks like kids on the ground and folks sitting where they can and us buttoning up because it's kind of chilly and being out here. Well done. Shalom looks like this. And it's happening. Shalom is shaped like this. It is contentious and it's costly and it is marching on. And I am so glad to be a part of God's movement of shalom with you. And now we're going to sing it over our whole country because goodness knows we need to. Find in your worship folders, please, for the healing of the nation. And maybe after that we'll ring the bell and sit in quiet. How's that?